Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Brent Gould Field is where we are at, Liberal, Kansas. A big matchup between the Liberal BeeJays and your Hayes Larks. Currently, I guess technically the Larks are still in first place in the league, but the BeeJays will be getting 3 wins next week from the Oklahoma City forfeit. Getting you started a little bit late here. Sam Beatty is on the mound for the BeeJays. Leading off in the first for the Larks will be Keone Givens. Beatty is ready. Givens is in the box. Larks need 2 out of 3 this weekend in Liberal if they want any chance at the Jayhawk League title. We are ready for baseball. Here comes the first pitch of the night from Sam Beatty. 6:02 p.m. High and away for ball number 1. So a 6 p.m. doubleheader tonight, 2 7-inning games, as most of you are probably well aware of and used to, as this is our 6th doubleheader of the season, as Givens fouls that one off to even the count at 1-1. This series has been hyped up a little bit more. The players, the coaches, everyone just a little bit more amped up and a little bit more energy, as this is for all the marbles in the league. Here comes the 1-1. Givens grounds it. It's fair. The catcher, Schmidt, fields and throws out Keone for the first out of the ballgame. Coming to the plate now for the Larks will be the second baseman, Jonathan Soberanis. So I never really like to see basically the series for the Jayhawk League title come down to a doubleheader, but that is where we are at. Key tonight is to get ahead early. Here comes the first pitch from Beatty to Soberanis, outside corner for strike number 1. Larks have a 1-game lead on the BeeJays right now in the Jayhawk League. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Soberanis. Again, outside corner, and it's quickly 0-2. Sam Beatty, the big left-hander, delivers the 1-2, fouled off straight back by Soberanis, and we will do it again. Beatty, 6'4", 190-pound lefty out of Oklahoma Panhandle State, originally from Brisbane, Australia. Still 0-2 to Soberanis. Here comes the pitch. Ground ball to the left side. Cook fields, throws across to O'Donnell in time, and there are 2 away here in the top of the first. Coming to the plate now for the Larks will be the designated hitter, number 24, Colin Simpson. Simpson leads the team and the league in batting average, home runs, and runs driven in. He is batting .465, has 11 home runs, and has driven in 45 runs. So a very good summer for Simpson. Here comes the first pitch from Beatty. Misses for ball number 1. Simpson swings through a fastball up in the zone, and the count is even at 1. So the field actually took the water pretty well yesterday. Right after the Larks got done with batting practice, the heavens opened and it just started pouring, and more than the rain, the wind was up to 70 to 75 miles an hour last night with the storm, as that one misses for ball number 2. Anything that wasn't tied down here at Brent Gould Field was on the move. The Liberal players had trouble keeping the tarps on the field. Everything was blown around, and it was not a good situation. Here comes the 2-1 to Simpson. Curveball drops in for strike number 2. So the field looks good. A little wet in the outfield and on the warning track, but it is playable, and good thing. So we can get these in this weekend. Here comes the 2-2 pitch from Sam Beatty. Simpson shatters his bat up the middle. That's going to be a base hit for Colin Simpson. So his orange bat dies a hero, as he is aboard with 2 outs here in the first. Coming to the plate now for the Larks will be the right fielder, number 32, Trevor Boone. Trevor comes into tonight batting .308, 9 home runs, and 32 runs driven in. As Colin Simpson takes his lead from first, Beede out of the stretch. Here comes the first pitch to Boone. Misses for ball number 1. So as we briefly touched on, shortened game, it's very important to get the bats going early and to get out in front. Here comes the 1-0 from Beede. That one is low, and it's 2-0 to Trevor Boone. Beede is set, gives Simpson a look at first, and delivers the 2-0. Boone drives it into right center field. Shoemaker is back. He will look up. He's not going to get there. It's going to be all the way to the wall. Simpson rounds third. He's going to be waved in. Here comes the relay throw. No throw. Boone on his way to third. The throw is wide. That is an RBI triple for Trevor Boone. And the Larks strike early. It's 1-0 here in the first. A very good piece of hitting by Trevor Boone as the center fielder Shoemaker was playing a little bit in. He drives it all the way to the wall out in right center. And that is just what the doctor ordered for the Larks here at the beginning of game number 1. Coming to the plate now for Hayes will be the left fielder, Clayton Raspberry. Steps in on the left side. Here comes the first pitch. Low and in the dirt for ball number 1. So if you can't tell, I'm excited as well. This is a very big series. Being a born and raised in Hayes, being a lifelong Larks fan, this is as good as it gets. Here comes the 1-0. And there goes the bat as Raspberry swings through a Beede fastball and flings the bat into the netting over by the Larks dugout. So it's 1-1. So Beede retired the first 2 men of this inning fairly easily, and then Simpson reached with a broken bat, single up the middle, and Boone drove a ball into the gap in right center field to score Simpson. Here comes the 1-1 to Raspberry. Off-speed pitch outside corner, and it is strike number 2. Beede is set. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Raspberry. Swing and a miss, and that is the inning. However, the Larks are on the board in the top of the first inning. 1 run on 2 hits, no Liberal errors, and 1 man left on base after a half inning of play here in game number 1. Larks 1, Liberal coming to bat. And we are back here in Liberal, Kansas. Brent Gould Field, bottom of the first inning. On the mound tonight for the Larks, making the start in game number 1 is number 19, Walter Pennington. Walter comes into tonight with a 1.85 ERA, a 3-1 record, so Walter has thrown very well. Leading off tonight for the BeeJays will be the center fielder, Marcus Shoemaker. Digs in on the left side. Here comes the first pitch from Walter. Fouled off out of play, and it's 0-1. Very important for Pennington to get off to a good start here tonight. Ground ball up the middle. Remy Fields throws to Selzer at first, and there is one away here in the bottom of the first inning. Coming to the plate now for the BeeJays will be the left fielder, Garrett Scott. Pennington working out of the stretch tonight. Here comes the first pitch. High and away for ball number 1. Pennington is set. Here comes the 1-0 to Scott. There's a strike on the upper half of the zone to even the count. Comes the 1-1 from Pennington. Ground ball, chopper. Remy Fields on a hop throws. It's a little high, but Selzer does a nice job of keeping his foot on the bag, and there are 2 away here in the first inning. Coming to the plate now for the BeeJays will be the first baseman, Cale O'Donnell. So the Larks are just playing for a league title, irregardless of where they finish in the Jayhawk League, first, second, or third at the end of this season. Hayes will receive the number 2 national seed in the NBC World Series, as the first pitch from Pennington misses high for ball number 1. So not playing for seeding, but the Larks want that league title. So here comes the 1-0 from Pennington, missing for a ball number 2. O'Donnell digs back in on the right side. Pennington is set. Here comes the 2-0. Misses up and away, and it's 3-0. Here comes the 3-0 pitch from Walter Pennington. Outside, and that is a 4-pitch walk to the Liberal first baseman. Coming to the plate now for the BeeJays will be the designated hitter number 10, Colton Onstadt. Here comes the first pitch from Pennington. Outside, ball number 1. So that's 5 straight pitches missing out of the zone for Pennington as O'Donnell leads from first. Pennington comes set, gives him a look, and here comes the 1-0. Outside once again, and it's 2-0. So not missing by much, but hasn't gotten the calls on the couple of the corner pitches, so he is down 2-0. Here comes the pitch. Fouled off by Onstadt for strike number 1, and on a pitch that was probably going to be ball 3. But we will take the strike. So Pennington comes set, gives O'Donnell a look, and now he will throw over just to keep him close. So the Larks doing the same thing the BeeJays are. So far for Liberal, a lefty-heavy batting order, 3 of the first 4. Here comes the pitch. That one is popped into shallow left field. Remy is back. He calls for it, makes the play, and that is the inning for the BeeJays in the bottom of the first. No runs, no hits, no Larks errors, and they leave 1 man aboard. We are through 1 inning here in game number 1. Larks 1, Liberal nothing. And we're back here at Brent Gould Field in Liberal. Top of the second inning of game number 1. Larks are going to send 6, 7, and 8 to the plate. Leading off will be the catcher, Nick Jones. Nick enters tonight batting .311. Has 4 doubles on the summer. He will dig in on the right side to face Sam Beatty here in the second. Here comes the first pitch of the inning. Low, and that's going to be ball number 1. Jones digs back in. Here comes the 1-0 pitch from the big lefty, Beatty. Curveball stays upstairs, and it's 2-0. The 2-0 pitch. Nick fouls it off towards the Liberal dugout, and there are 2 balls and a strike. So a pair of good pitchers on the mound tonight for the Larks. They have Walter Pennington here in game number 1, and Alex Lopez is scheduled to make the game 2 start for the Larks. Very important as the 2-1 comes into Nick Jones. Driven into left field. That's a lead-off single for the Larks catcher, and there is 1 on here in the top of the second inning. Max Remy will make his way to the plate now for the Larks. I believe I saw when briefly looking at the Liberal stats, Sam Beatty's had a very good summer. He's made 5 starts, pitched in 6 games, and I believe his ERA was 2.38. So he's had a very good year for the BeeJays. As here comes the first pitch to Remy outside for ball number 1. So that would be an added bonus if the Larks could get to him early in the game. Here comes the 1-0 to Remy. Fouled off back to the right, and the count is even at 1. Beatty gets his sign from Schmidt, is set, gives Jones a look over at first, and here comes the pitch. Outside. Oh, wow. That one was on the chalk for the left batter's box, but it is called a strike by the home plate umpire, so Remy is behind 1-2. Again, we have another very good vantage point here as we are almost directly behind home plate. Here comes the 1-2 pitch from Beatty. Remy fouls it straight back, and he will stick around to see another pitch. Max comes in hitting .275 in 22 games. Has driven in 9. Here comes the 1-2 again from Beatty. In the dirt, Max lays off, and the count is even at 2-2. Here comes the 2-2 pitch to Remy. And again, Max fouls it off, and he will see another one. So Nick Jones over at first, led off the second inning here with a line drive single past Robinson at short. That is where we are, 1-0 Larks. Here comes the 2-2 again to Remy. Max grounds it to the third baseman Cook. He fires to second for 1, back to first, not it. Oh, no. Oh, no. And they're going to get the double play on the call, but that is not the correct call, as Remy most definitely beat that out. So a couple of calls against the Larks here early, and there are 2 away in the second. So Jace Selzer will be the batter. He fouls off the first pitch. It is 0-1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch from Beatty. Ground ball to the second baseman Rhodes. He fields, throws to O'Donnell, and that is the inning. For the Larks in the second, no runs on a hit, no Liberal errors, nobody left on base after an inning and a half. Larks 1, BeeJays, nothing. And we're back here in Liberal Brent Gould Field, getting you ready for the bottom of the second inning. 5, 6, and 7 due up for the BeeJays. Jaron Robinson, the shortstop, will lead it off. Robinson with some power in Derby midweek. The BeeJays won game number 2 of that series 20-6 over the Twins. Robinson hit 3 home runs as the first pitch from Pennington is up and away for ball number 1. So definitely not a guy you want to miss over the plate to, as the 1-0 comes in from Pennington. Strike number 1 on the outside corner. The 1-1 is driven deep to left field, but well foul and out of play. And it's 1-2, so just even there, the ball was well foul, but the ability of Robinson to turn on the inside pitch and drive it to left field, very powerful hitter. Here comes the 1-2 from Pennington. Up and away, and the count is even at 2. The 2-2 popped up into shallow right center field. Soberanis goes out, called off by the center fielder Givens, who makes the catch, and there's one away here in the second inning. It's kind of hard to see the ball out there. The windows here in the press box are just a little clouded over, and trying to fight myself to see who made the play. Anyway, 1 out, most important thing. Coming to the plate now for Liberal will be the right fielder Trent Maloney. The first pitch from Pennington in there for strike number 1. Pennington working very quickly, delivers the 0-1, and that one misses. So the home plate umpire is giving off the plate on the outside, even onto the chalked line on the other batter's box, but on the right side of the plate, he's giving very far out there, even onto the chalk. But on the left side of the plate, from our view, he's not even giving the corner. Here comes the 1-2, popped straight up. Jones will give it a look back, and that will hit the netting. So the count is still 1-2. So still trying to figure out the home plate umpire's zone, as that's what it looks like early. Kind of a little weird, but we'll have to adjust. Maloney digs back in on the left side. Here comes the 1-2 again from Pennington. Popped up, fouled out of play once again. So we heard this morning even that Liberal, in the last week and a half, they've had 3 of their pitchers shut down by their collegiate coaches due to inning limits. So here comes the 1-2 high for ball number 2. So maybe that coincides with Liberal's a little bit of struggle before swept Derby, but before that had been struggling just a tad. The 2-2 off Selzer's glove into right field. That's going to be the base hit. He will put on the brakes, and that's going to be a 1-out single for Maloney and the BeeJays. That will bring to the plate the Liberal catcher, Kyle Schmidt. Schmidt, a 6-foot, 210-pound sophomore out of Richmond. So he is a spider, originally from Smithville, Texas. So a D1 catcher. Here comes the first pitch from Pennington, high for ball 1. Very stocky kid. Looks like he has some power as well. Not an easy job to hit it out to left, though. 340 down the left field line, 380 in the alley. So a fairly deep ballpark as Pennington's 1-0 is in there for a strike. And we will go around, I guess, 400 in center field as the wall juts up a couple feet, and then 370 in the right center alley. There goes the runner, lined to Raspberry. He catches it, makes a throw to first. They're going to have a chance to double up. It is scooped. It is a double play. They get Maloney. So a little bit of unlucky, just unluckiness for Liberal as they had a hit and run on. Lined to Raspberry and left, who made a good throw. As by the time Maloney saw it had been caught, he was all the way at second base. A nice scoop by Selzer, and that is a 7-3 double play, and that's going to end the inning. So for the BeeJays in the second, no runs on a hit, no Larks errors, nobody left on. We are through to complete here in game number 1. Larks on top, 1-0. And we are back here in Liberal. Top of the third inning, Sam Beatty back to the mound for the BeeJays. Larks will send their 9-1 and 2 hitters to the plate. Leading off will be the third baseman, Jacob Boston. Boston digs in on the right side. Here comes the first pitch of the inning from Beatty in the dirt for ball number 1. Here comes the 1-0 pitch from Beatty to Boston, fouled back to the screen, and the count is even at a ball and a strike. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Driven up the middle. Is that going to get down? It will, in front of the center fielder Shoemaker, and the ball will get by him as Boston's going to be into second base. So the leadoff man is on yet again for the Larks. I believe that's going to be, yes, it is a single for Boston and then an error on the center fielder Shoemaker. So a good start here again for the Larks in the third as the leadoff man Boston is on second base. That will bring to the plate the top of the batting order, Keone Givens. Boston in scoring position at second. Here comes the first pitch to Givens. Keone will square to bunt and pull it back, taking ball number 1. So the Larks are making some good contact on Sam Beatty here early. 4 hits here as we enter the top of the third. Beatty is set. Here comes the pitch to Keone. Squares to bunt again, and he will bunt it foul back towards the backstop, and we are even at 1-1. Larks will play one more tonight after this. They will finish up the series with Liberal tomorrow night at 7, right back here at Brent Gould Field, and then We will close the regular season Tuesday through Thursday back at home at Larks Park against the El Dorado Broncos. As the 1-1 comes in from Beatty to Givens. That one is low, and it's 2-1. After next Thursday, the Larks will have the weekend off before they travel to Colorado. They're going to play a few exhibition games against a team from Denver or the surrounding area somewhere out in there. They're going to play their games at Colorado School of Mines. It's just a few exhibition games to get some live pitching in before the next weekend's trip to Wichita for the NBC. Here comes the 2-1 to Givens. Low, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Unfortunately, we will not be covering those exhibition games in Colorado, as that's just a far way out there, and they will not count on the schedule or anything. So here comes the 3-1 to Keone Givens. Driven up the middle. That's a base hit. Boston's going to round third. He's going to be sent. Here comes the throw from Shoemaker. Not in time. That's an RBI single for Keone Givens, and the Larks extend their lead. It's 2-0 here in the third. A very good start to the third inning as the first 2 men single up the middle, and it results in the second run of the game for the Larks. Larks got a very motivational speech from pitching coach Keith Harper today, and you could tell that the team was ready to go and they want this Jayhawk League title. Off to a good start. Keone Givens leads from first. Soberanis will be the hitter. Here comes the first pitch from Beatty outside for ball number 1. Comes the 1-0 to Soberanis. Popped up into shallow right field. Rhodes is out. He will make the play for out number 1. Coming to the plate now for the Larks will be the designated hitter, Colin Simpson. Simpson shattered his bat in the first inning on a single up the middle. Givens leads from first, 1 away. Here comes the first pitch from Sam Beatty. Ball number 1 in the dirt. Beatty gets his sign, is set. Gives Givens a look at first. Here comes the pitch. There goes Givens. The pitch is outside. The throw in the grass. Not in time. And that is a stolen base for Keone Givens. So the count moves to 2-0 on Simpson. So Keone got a very good jump against the lefty Beatty and stole a base. Don't see that a ton against the lefty, but Givens with very good speed. Here comes the 2-0 from Sam Beatty to Simpson. Curveball in there for strike number 1. So another man in scoring position for the Larks here in the third. Givens probably the fastest player on this Larks team, so anything into the outfield, base hit-wise, should score Keone. Here comes the 2-1 to Simpson. Fouled it off back to the screen, and we are even at 2-2. Trevor Boone waits on deck. He tripled in Simpson in the first to get the Larks on the board. Beatty getting his sign from Kyle Schmidt. He comes set. Here comes the 2-2. There goes Givens again, swing and a miss. That one is in time, and that is a strike him out, throw him out double play to end the inning. So for the Larks in the top of the third, they score 1 run on 2 hits, no liberal errors, nobody left on base. We are through 2.5 here in game number 1. Larks on top, 2-0. And we are back here in Liberal at Brent Gould Field as we head to the bottom of the third inning. Larks tacked on another run on the single by Keone Givens to extend the lead to 2-0. Walter Pennington back to the mound for the Larks. 8-9-1 due up for the BeeJays here in the third. Zach Cook will lead it off. He will square to bunt, pull it back, and take ball number 1 from Pennington. So the BeeJays are very similar to the Larks, at least here in this game, and they have a very left-handed hitting heavy lineup. Here comes the 1-0 pitch, and that is outside and low for ball number 2. So that would explain why Pennington is going here in game number 1. Gets his sign from Jones. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. He will lay it down. Pennington comes off the mound. Fields throws in time to Selzer, and there's one away here in the third inning. So Pennington, a nice job of getting off the mound and fielding his position to throw out Cook. Coming to the plate now for the BeeJays will be the second baseman, Brennan Rhodes. Here comes the first pitch. Fouled straight back for strike number 1. Swung on and missed by Rhodes, and he is quickly down 0-2 in the count to Pennington. So Walter wanting to work quickly, and he is doing a nice job. Has gotten behind a couple hitters, but has worked himself back into counts. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Rhodes. Swing and a miss. Down goes Rhodes, and there are 2 away here in the third inning. That will bring to the plate the top of the BeeJays order. Marcus Shoemaker will step in. Larks are in their new blues tonight. Hayes across the front in white letters. Here comes the first pitch from Pennington. Strike number 1. As the BeeJays are in their white no-sleeve jerseys with powder blue undershirts and powder blue letters. That one is driven out into center field. Givens ranges over to his right, makes the play, and that is the inning. A quiet inning for Pennington as he gets the BeeJays 1-2-3. We head to the fourth inning here in game number 1. Larks on top, 2-0. And we are back here in Liberal, top of the fourth inning. Sam Beatty makes his way back to the mound for the BeeJays. The Larks will send their 4, 5, and 6 hitters to the plate. Leading off will be the right fielder, Trevor Boone. Larks looking for more here as we near the halfway point of game number 1. The first pitch from Beatty swung on and missed by Boone, and it is 0-1. Comes the 0-1 from Beatty. Flied out to left field. Back goes Scott. He will make his way towards the track and make the catch for out number 1. So the Liberal outfielders they seem to be playing fairly shallow, as a couple of balls that have looked like they've been just pop flies into the outfield, they have had to range fairly far back. Clayton Raspberry will be the hitter now for the Larks. One away here in the fourth, excuse me. First pitch from Beede, a curveball outside corner for strike number 1. Comes the 0-1 pitch to Clayton Raspberry. Fastball missing low to even the count at 1. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss by Clayton. And it's 1-2. Comes the 1-2 pitch. Driven deep to right field. Back goes Maloney. He'll make his way back towards the track and the wall. Looks up. It is gone. A solo home run for Clayton Raspberry. And the Larks extend their lead. It's 3-0 here in the top of the 4th inning. So the Larks are hitting the ball tonight. They are on Sam Beede here. 3 runs on 6 hits through just 3 1/3. As Nick Jones makes his way to the plate now for the Larks. 1 away. Comes the first pitch from Beede. Fouled back for strike number 1. Comes the 0-1, and he fouls it off, and the count is quickly 0-2. Jones digs back in on the right side. Here comes the 0-2 pitch from Sam Beede. And he fouls it off of himself, and the count will remain no balls and 2 strikes. So whether it be the situation, whether it be the good team in the BeeJays, whatever it may be, the Larks definitely look energized tonight, and they showed up to the ballpark ready to play after the rainout last night. So here comes the 0-2 from Sam Beede to Nick Jones. Popped up, that's going to be foul, and it will get out of play to the right. So we will do it again at 0-2. Jones takes a moment and digs back in on the right side. Here comes the 0-2 pitch once again from Sam Beede. Swing and a miss by Jones. The tag is applied, and that is the second out of the 4th inning. Coming to the plate now for the Larks will be the shortstop, Max Remy. Max 0 for 1, grounded into that controversial double play back in the 2nd inning. From my vantage point, it most definitely looked like he was safe, but he was called out, and that's how it went, as the first pitch from Beede is a curveball in there for strike number 1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Remy. Fastball low and away for ball number 1. The 1-1. Driven into left field. That is a base hit. Remy will round first and put on the brakes. A 2-out single for Max Remy. Keeps the Larks going here in the 4th inning. Jace Selzer will be the batter now for Hayes. Selzer 0 for 1, grounded to the second baseman in the 2nd. He digs in on the left side against Beatty. Here comes the first pitch. Ball number 1 low. So the Larks, which has seen them a little bit in certain games struggle against lefties. Not the case so far here tonight. 7 hits. Here comes the 1-0. That one catches the outside for the first strike. Count is 1-1. Beatty is set. Here comes the pitch. There goes Remy. Swung on and missed. And the catcher, Schmidt, cannot collect the ball behind the plate. It is not a foul ball, so that's going to be a stolen base for Max Remy as the count is 1-2 on Jay Selzer. Here comes the 1-2 from Sam Beatty. Popped into left field. Scott is in. He will make the play, and the inning is over. The Larks add another run on the solo shot by Clayton Raspberry, and we are halfway through game 1 as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Larks on top, 3-0. And we're back here in Liberal, bottom of the 4th inning. Walter Pennington back to the mound for the Larks. 2, 3, and 4 due up for the BeeJays, leading off the left fielder, Garrett Scott. Comes the first pitch of the inning from Pennington. Strike number 1, a fastball catching the outside corner. Pennington is set. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Scott. Another fastball grounded to the third baseman, Boston. He collects it, throws high, and Selzer, another nice job over at first base. Catches the high throw from Boston and just gets his foot down on the bag before Scott gets there. So there's one away here in the bottom of the 4th. Coming to the plate now for Liberal, the first baseman, Cale O'Donnell. O'Donnell walked back in the first. Here comes the first pitch from Pennington. Strike number 1. And a couple of groans of complaint from the fans here in Liberal as they think that one was high. A very nice crowd. Liberal, as I expected, would bring out a lot of fans, and they have. There's a good crowd on hand. Here comes the pitch. O'Donnell fouls it off out of play to the right. And it is 0-2. Pennington is set. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to O'Donnell. Just misses inside. And there's a ball and 2 strikes. Walter comes set. Here comes the 1-2. Low in the dirt for ball number 2. So Pennington still working very, very quickly, and it has worked out for him. He's throwing very well here so far tonight. Not letting the Liberal hitters get comfortable and take their time in the box. He's ready to go. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Upstairs, and the count is full. Pennington gets his sign from Jones. Here comes the payoff pitch to O'Donnell. Outside for ball 4. So 4 straight balls for Pennington after getting ahead of O'Donnell 0-2. And there's a man on for the BeeJays with 1 out here in the 4th. Colton Onstott, the DH, will be the hitter for Liberal. He digs in on the left side. Pennington gives O'Donnell a look at first and delivers the first pitch. High for ball 1, and now Nick Jones will go out to have a talk with Walter after his 5th straight ball, and Coach Keith Harper will also run quickly out there and have a word. So Jones is back behind the plate. Pennington behind 1-0 in the count to Onstott. Cale O'Donnell on first. Here comes the pitch. Popped up into left field. Raspberry has it sized up. He will make the play, and there are 2 away in the bottom of the 4th. So whatever Coach Harper said to Walter must have worked. 1 pitch, and he gets the 2nd out. And here comes the ever-dangerous Jaron Robinson. Digs in on the right side. Here comes the first pitch from Pennington. Fastball driven out to right field. That ball will be foul. And it will be strike number 1. So last at bat, we saw the pull power to left field, even though that ball was foul, and this ball was foul as well, but we saw him stick his bat out and go to the opposite field. Robinson plays at Murray State. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Ground ball to Boston. He fields it on a hop, throws to Soberanis at second in time, and that's the inning. So for the BeeJays in the bottom of the 4th, no runs on no hits, no Larks errors, and nobody left on base after 4 innings here in game number 1. Larks 3, BeeJays nothing. And we are back here in Liberal, top of the 5th inning. 9-1-2 due up for the Larks. Sam Beatty back to the mound for the BeeJays. Jacob Boston will get us going here in the 5th. Led off the 3rd inning with a single. Here comes the first pitch of the inning from Beatty. Swung on and missed by Jacob, and it's 0-1. Beatty out of the windup, delivers the 0-1 to Boston. Boston swings through a curveball that bounces in the dirt, and it's quickly 0-2 on the Larks' 3rd baseman. So good news for the Larks, especially if we get into close games tonight. Tyler Starks, who has not thrown in a couple days, is fresh and ready out of that bullpen. Shall we need him? Here comes the 0-2 pitch. High for ball number 1. The Larks, lack of a better term, shut down closer out of Stephen F. Austin. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Boston. Fouls off the curve, and he will hang around and see another pitch. Here comes the 1-2 again from Sam Beatty. Boston will check his swing and get a piece, and he will see another one. The 1-2 again. Oh, strike 3 called on the inside, and Boston is out number 1. Ball that looked to be inside is called strike 3. Coming to the plate now for the Larks, the top of the batting order, Keone Givens. Givens singled in Boston back in the 3rd to extend the lead. Here comes the first pitch of the AB from Sam Beatty. Breaking ball low and away, and it is 1-0. Here comes the 1-0. Swing and a miss from Givens, and the count is even at 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Fouled out of play to the right by Givens, and it is 1-2. So Sam Beatty yet to record a clean inning on the Larks. They have put a man on in every inning and have at least one hit in every inning. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. And Keone is out number 2. Jonathan Soberanis, the Larks' second baseman, will dig in now from the right side. 2 men away here in the 5th. Comes the first pitch of the AB. Curveball inside, and it's 1-0. And now the catcher, Kyle Schmidt, will take a stroll out to the mound to have a quick word with Sam Beatty. Beatty looking for his first clean inning, his first 1-2-3 inning here in the 5th. Larks with 3 runs on 7 hits. Liberal no runs on 1 hit. They also have an error. Here comes the 1-0 to Soberanis. High and away, and it is 2-0. The 2-0 to Jonathan. Fastball outside corner for strike number 1. Sobey back in. Here comes the 2-1 pitch from Beatty. Off the hands into left field. That's going to drop in front of Scott, and that is a 2-out single for the Larks. They keep the inning alive and keep Sam Beatty on the mound and make sure he does not have a 1-2-3 inning. And to get a man on for Colin Simpson, of all people, is a big deal for the Larks here, as Colin Simpson is very capable of driving one over the fence out in right center. Here comes the first pitch from Beede to Simpson. Fastball outside corner for strike number 1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Curveball in the dirt, and the count is even at 1-1. Colin digs back in on the left side. Beede is set, gives Soberanis a look, and delivers. Curveball in the dirt once again, and there are 2 balls and 1 strike. Another nice stop by Schmidt behind the plate to keep Soberanis at first. I see a few people from Hayes. Alex Weiss's mom and dad are in the stands. Alex Lopez's mom and dad are in the stands. Here comes the 2-1. That one misses, and it is 3-1 to Simpson. So we have about 6 or 7 Larks fans down there close to the Larks dugout. Beede is set. Here comes the 3-1 pitch to Colin Simpson. There goes Soberanis, and Simpson fouls it out of play to the left, and the count is full. So Jonathan will be on the move here when Sam Beede delivers the next pitch. Good speed over there, so if Simpson can get something into a gap, there's a chance that Soberanis could score from first. Here comes the payoff pitch to Simpson. And he will foul that one off as he reaches across the plate, making sure to get a piece just to stay alive. We would definitely take another run or two, especially against Liberal. A 3-0 lead does not feel safe against the BeeJays. Sobey leads from first. Here comes the payoff pitch once again. And Simpson will lay off the curveball in the dirt, and that is ball 4. So the first 2 men of the inning once again are retired by Sam Beede, but the Larks will just not go down. They single and then a walk to put 2 men on here for Trevor Boone. Boone already tripled in a run back in the first. Here comes the first pitch from Beede. In the dirt for ball number 1. As the Larks base runners hold, and that is probably a wise decision as Schmidt collected the baseball fairly quickly off to his left. Boone and the Larks looking for more here in the 5th, already up 3-0 in game number 1 of a doubleheader. Here comes the 1-0 pitch from Sam Beede. In the dirt, that one gets away from Schmidt, and both runners will advance into scoring position as the count moves to 2-0 on Trevor Boone, and that will trigger a mound visit for the BeeJays as pitching coach, I believe, pitching coach Brad Powell makes his way out to the mound to have a word with Beede and Schmidt. So again, here we will throw the standings up for you real quick. And that is not giving Liberal the 3 wins that they are going to get next week. So the Larks will need 2 out of 3. They have to win 2 out of 3 here in Liberal if they want a chance to win the Jayhawk League. If they take 2 out of 3 from Liberal, they have to win 2 out of 3 against El Dorado next week to be league champs. Here comes the 2-0 pitch to Boone. Fouled straight back, and it's 2-1. After record, the tiebreak goes to head-to-head. So the Larks have to take the 2 of 3 to give themselves a chance. Here comes the 2-1 pitch from Sam Beede. Swing and a miss by Boone, and the count is even at 2-2. Soberanis leads from third. Simpson from second. 2-2 count to Boone, 2 men away here in the top of the 5th. Here comes the 2-2. Oh, no, oh my. See oh, wow. Strike 3 is called and the inning is over. That ball almost hit Boone on the shoulder. But that is the inning. So another call goes against the Larks. And the inning is over. No runs on a hit. No liberal errors and 2 men left on base. After 4.5 here in game number 1, Larks on top 3-0. And we are back here in Liberal, bottom of the 5th. Walter Pennington back to the mound for the Larks. 6, 7, and 8 due up for the BeeJays. Here comes the first pitch to the right fielder, Trent Maloney. That ball is foul down the first base line, and it is 0-1. So the BeeJays will have Trent Maloney, Kyle Schmidt, and Zach Cook here in their half of the 5th. Here comes the 0-1 from Pennington. Strike number 2 on a fastball right down the middle. Once again, Walter ahead of the Liberal hitters. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Line into left center field. That ball is into the gap. Cut off by Raspberries. The grass will kill it. Maloney will put on the brakes at first, and that is a leadoff single for the BeeJays. Kyle Schmidt will be the hitter now for the BeeJays, and here's when it gets fun. We get to see what Walter Pennington is made of. Here comes the first pitch. Fouled out of play, and it's 0-1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch from Pennington. Fouled off, and Walter is quickly ahead, 0-2 to the BeeJay catcher. Pennington gets his sign from Jones. Here comes the 0-2. Outside with the fastball. Wasted one there, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Line up the middle past Pennington into center field, and that is back-to-back singles for the BeeJays. And just like that, the tying run comes to the plate here in the 5th with nobody out. Zach Cook will be the hitter now for the BeeJays, as the infield for the Larks and Jones, the catcher, have a word with Pennington. Cook digs in on the left side. Trent Maloney at second, Kyle Schmidt at first, nobody out. Larks on top 3-0 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Here comes the first pitch. He squares to bunt, gets it down. That's a beauty, and it will be fair, and Boston lets it go, and that's going to be a run as Maloney just never stops running. So that is a single for Zach Cook. Gets the BeeJays on the board. It's 3-1. Action in the Larks bullpen as Tyler Starks begins to warm here in the 5th. Pennington will pitch to Rhodes, runner on first and second, 3-1 ball game. Here comes the first pitch. He squares to bunt, strike number 1. So the BeeJays are trying to get the tying run into scoring position here in the 5th. 3 straight singles to lead off here against Pennington. Here comes the 0-1. Rhodes squares to bunt again, outside, and the count is 1-1. We knew coming in that Liberal was not going to go down easy here tonight. Too good of a baseball team. Here comes the 1-1 from Pennington. Rhodes squares to bunt again, shows it very early. He gets it down. The only play for Selzer will be the first. They record the out, and there is one away here in the 5th as the tying run for Liberal advances into scoring position. Top of the order, and Marcus Shoemaker will come to the plate now for the BeeJays. All of a sudden, the Larks are in a jam here. Second and third, tying run out there at second base for the BeeJays. Here comes the first pitch to Shoemaker. Line into left field. That's going to be down the line. It's fair. That is going to tie the ball game as Shoemaker digs for second base. The throw from Raspberry, not in time. A 2 RBI double, and the game is tied at 3. Comes the first pitch to Garrett Scott from Pennington. Ball number 1. So the Larks off to a very good start, picking up 3 in the first 4, but that is erased here in the 5th as Liberal ties the game. They have the go-ahead run on second base with less than 2 outs. Here comes the pitch from Pennington, and that's been a strike all night and not given there to Pennington, and it's 2-0. Here comes the 2-0 pitch from Pennington. Strike number 1. That ball was farther outside than the last one, but Walter gets that call. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. High, and it is 3-1. Comes the 3-1 pitch. Grounded foul down the right field line. And the count is full. Larks cannot allow Liberal to take the lead here in the 5th. They are so tough down the stretch with the back end of their bullpen with a shortened game. Only 2 innings left. Here comes the payoff pitch. There goes the runner. Ball 4. The throw in time at third, and he is thrown out at third base. So that is a walk to Garrett Scott, but the runner Shoemaker is out at third base, and the home plate umpire didn't get a look. Scott is saying he pulled his foot and avoided the tag and then got in ahead of time. The field umpire called him out, and the home plate umpire was not looking at the play as he was watching the pitch from Pennington. So the argument by the Liberal coach will be for naught as Shoemaker is out number 2. So Scott takes his base, 2 men away here in the bottom of the 5th. Cale O'Donnell to the plate now for Liberal. Here comes the first pitch from Pennington. Misses for ball 1. Here comes the 1-0 from Pennington to O'Donnell. Swing and a miss. Evens the count at 1. The 1-1 pitch. Another swing, another miss for O'Donnell, and it is 1-2. Big pitch upcoming for Pennington. As he looks to get the Larks out of the inning with the tie still intact. Here comes the 1-2. There goes Scott. High, can't get it out of his glove as Jones, and the throw is late. So that is going to be a stolen base for Garrett Scott. And once again, the go-ahead run for the BeeJays is in scoring position here in the 5th inning. 2 balls and 2 strikes, the count to Cale O'Donnell. Here comes the pitch from Walter. Ground ball. Walter will field. Throw to Selzer in time, and that is the inning. In the bottom of the 5th for the BeeJays, they score 3 times on 4 hits. No Larks errors, and they leave 1 man on base. We are through 5 innings here in game number 1, and we are tied. It's 3-3. And we're back here in Liberal, top of the 6th. Brand new ball game, 3-3. Sam Beatty back to the mound. Clayton Raspberry will lead it off. Here comes the first pitch of the inning. Ball number 1, low and away. So the Larks looking to get one of those back and get the lead with a big arm. And Tyler Starks warmed and ready in the Larks bullpen. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Oh, strike number 1. So it's 1-1 to Clayton. Clayton has already homered here tonight back in the 4th. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Another curveball, and it misses away once again. 2 balls and a strike. Here comes the 2-1 from Beatty. Popped up on the infield to the third baseman Cook. He will go to foul territory, make the play, and there's 1 away here in the Larks' 6th. Nick Jones, the hitter now for the Larks, one away in the sixth inning. Here comes the first pitch. Curveball in the dirt for ball number 1. Here comes the 1-0. Jones grounds it foul to the left, and we are even at 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 fastball outside corner for strike number 2 on Nick Jones. The 1-2. Popped foul, and Jones will hang around and see another pitch. The 1-2 again. Grounded foul just past on the left side of third base, and we will hang tight at 1-2. Here comes the 1-2 again. Inside, and that one misses, as the count is 2-2. Larks looking for base runners. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Curveball driven deep to left field. Back goes Scott. He will make the play, and there are 2 away in the 6th inning. So Jones hit it very hard, but Garrett Scott, good speed down, out in left, runs it down for the second out. Max Remy to the plate now for the Larks. Here comes the first pitch from Beede. Misses low for ball 1. The 1-0 is inside, and it's 2-0 on Max Remy. Jace Selzer waits on deck for the Larks if Remy can get on. Here comes the 2-0. Strike number 1 on the outside corner. As I look down into the bullpen, Starks is still warming out in right field, and out in left field for Liberal, they have a pair of arms warming up out there, so both bullpens active here in the 6th. There comes the 2-1 to Remy. Strike number 2, same spot on the outside corner. Here comes the 2-2 pitch from Beede. Swing and a miss, and that's the inning. So Sam Beede gets his first 1-2-3 inning in the perfect spot for the BeeJays. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. We are tied at 3. And we're back here in Liberal. Bottom of the 6th inning. New pitcher for the Larks, the closer, Tyler Starks. Four, 5, and 6 due up for Liberal. Colton Onstott will lead it off. Starks, lefty out of Stephen F. Austin, looking to keep Liberal off the board and give Hayes a chance. Here comes the first pitch of the inning. Fastball misses for ball 1. Starks is set. Here comes the 1-0 pitch to Onstott. Fastball inside. It's 2-0. So again, just a 7-inning game. We'll play 2 of them tonight for the doubleheader. So big spot here as we are nearing the end of game 1. Here comes the 2-0. Fastball driven into right field. Boone is in. He makes the play, and there's 1 away here in the 6th inning. So Starks records the out, but a little bit of uncharted territory there. Someone actually made contact on Starks. That has not happened in a while, but he will take the out. Jaron Robinson, the hitter now for the BeeJays, with 1 away here in the 6th. Here comes the first pitch from Starks. Swing and a miss. It's 0-1. Larks will have 8, 9, and 1 in the 7th. Jace Selzer, Jacob Austin, and Keone Givens. Looking to go to the 7th with a tie ball game. Here comes the 0-1 from Tyler Starks. Up and away, and we are even at 1-1. Starks enters tonight having thrown 19 innings as an ERA of 1.90. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Fouled straight back, and there is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Robinson digs back in. Here comes the 1-2 pitch from Starks. Driven into right field. Boone is in. He will make a sliding catch, and there are 2 away. Trent Maloney to the plate now for Liberal, 2 away. So the BeeJays making fairly good contact on Starks. 2 line drives to right field. Boone has him played perfectly out there, though. Maloney digs in on the left side. Here comes the first pitch. A curveball. Swing and a miss by Maloney. It's 0-1. Here comes the 0-1 from Tyler Starks. Fastball in there, and it is 0-2. So Tyler Starks just a pitch away here from getting the Larks back into the dugout, taking us to the final frame, all tied up. Here comes the 0-2. Down low, and that's the first ball. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. That one is low as well, and the count is even at 2. Starks gets his sign from Jones. Here comes the 2-2. Fouled out of play to the left, and we will do it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here it comes again from Starks. Strike 3 called outside corner, and the inning is over. Liberal goes down 1-2-3 in the 6th. We head to the final frame of game number 1. Larks and BeeJays tied at 3. And we're back here in Liberal, getting ready for the top of the 7th. New pitcher for the BeeJays is number 31, Derek Kraft. He is 6'8". A 6'8", 215-pound right-hander out of Texas, San Antonio. So Sam Beattie's night is done. He goes 6 innings, 8 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, and strikes out 6. On the other side, Walter Pennington went 5 innings, gave up 5 hits, 3 runs. He walked 3 and struck out 2. And Starks threw a perfect 6th inning. So that's where we are pitching-wise. And we're here in the top of the 7th. So Derek Kraft to the mound. Jace Selzer will lead it off for the Larks, followed by Jacob Boston and Keone Givens. Here comes the first pitch of the inning. Strike number 1. A very tall Derek Kraft, a downhill delivery as he throws over the top. As the sun starts to peek through the clouds here in Liberal, here comes the 0-1 to Selzer. Fouls that off, and Jace is quickly behind 0-2. Looking forward to the bottom of the 7th, Liberal will have 7, 8, and 9 due up, presumably facing Tyler Starks. Here comes the 0-2 to Selzer. Outside, that one misses, and there is a ball and 2 strikes. Here comes the 1-2 pitch from Derek Kraft. Curveball outside and low, and the count is even at 2-2. So the outcome of this game won't win or lose the league title for anybody, but it would make it a whole lot easier on the Larks if they were to pick up game 1. Here comes the 2-2 to Selzer. Fastball foul down the left side, and we will do it again at 2-2. This is a big game for the Larks. Makes their life a whole lot easier if they are to win, and it makes it that much more difficult if they were to fall. Here comes the 2-2 pitch to Selzer. Ground ball up the middle, past the pitcher. Going to be a tough play for the shortstop, Robinson. He fields, throws in time to get Selzer, and there's one away in the 7th. And there will be a pinch hitter for Jacob Boston. Clayton Harp will be in to hit out of Sam Houston State. He will face Kraft here for the first time. First AB of the game. Curveball outside, ball 1. Here comes the 1-0 pitch to Clayton. Up and away, and there are 2 balls and no strikes. Larks just looking for a base runner here in the 7th, trying to get their big sticks, and Simpson and Boone back around into the plate. Here comes the 2-0. Fastball a little low, but it's called strike number 1, and Clayton Harp does not agree. Here comes the 2-1 from Kraft. Swing and a miss, and the count is even at 2. Here comes the 2-2 to Clayton. Fastball away, and the count is full. Kraft is set. Here comes the payoff pitch to Clayton Harp. Grounds it weakly on the infield. Picked up by O'Donnell. The flip in time. And there's 2 away here in the 7th as the Liberal fans making a lot of noise as they see momentum for their BeeJays. Keone Givens will be the batter, 2 away here in the 7th. Here comes the first pitch from Derek Kraft. Driven up the middle, that's a base hit for Keone Givens, and the Larks are still breathing here in the 7th. Jonathan Soberanis, the hitter now for the Larks, and if Sobey can find a way to get on, you have a big bat waiting on deck, but Jonathan will need to get aboard somehow. Here comes the first pitch from Derek Kraft. And he will step off and check on Givens over there at first base. Here comes the first pitch. Inside, ball number 1. Soberanis is 1 for 3. He's singled back in the 5th. Here comes the 1-0. And that one misses. And it's 2-0, so can't blame Sobey for getting out of the way as Derek Kraft throws very hard, but if only that would have nicked him just to get him on base. Looking for base runners. 2-0 the count. Givens leads from first. Here comes the pitch from Kraft. Strike number 1 on the inside corner. Simpson awaits, the league's leading home run hitter. Kraft takes a look at Givens, comes set. Here comes the 2-1 to Soberanis. That is high, and it's ball 3. Jonathan digs back in, ahead 3-1 in the count. Kraft gives Givens a look at first. Here comes the pitch. And inside, that is ball 4, and Colin Simpson will come to the plate here in the top of the 7th. And now they are going to warn Kraft and Soberanis. A little bit of extracurricular activity going on as Kraft pitched Soberanis inside that entire at bat. And you wonder if Sobey is just a little bit irritated with everything that happened up in Hayesville with them hitting him twice and throwing inside, and that was in no way intentional by Liberal, as I'm sure they probably didn't want to face Colin Simpson if they didn't have to. But after the mound visit, Colin Simpson will come to the plate. Keone Givens the go-ahead run in scoring position, 2 men away here in the top of the 7th. So a very good game 1 here in the last frame. First 2 Larks of the inning were retired, but the 2-out rally ability of the Larks is showing again as Givens singled up the middle and Soberanis was walked. Runner in scoring position. Here comes the first pitch to Colin Simpson from the righty Kraft. Strike number 1. Trevor Boone waits on deck. A base hit would work, too, for Simpson. Here comes the 0-1 pitch from Kraft. Fastball low, and we are even at 1-1. Nervous moments for Larks fans, nervous moments for BeeJays fans. This is what baseball is about. Here comes the 1-1 from Derek Kraft. Outside. And the count is 2-1. So the home plate umpire, his strike zone has been very erratic. He's given the corners, he's not given the corners. He's given off the plate, he's not given off the plate. So it's kind of just a crapshoot on what you're going to get. Worked out for Simpson there. 2-1 is the count. Here it comes from Derek Kraft. Outside, and it is 3-1. Simpson digs back in, up 3-1. Derek Kraft in danger of loading the bases for Trevor Boone. Here comes the pitch. Strike number 2 on the outside corner, and the count is full. So the Larks base runners, Givens and Soberanis, will be on the move here with the pitch from Kraft to Simpson. Here comes the payoff pitch. Ground ball to the second baseman Rhodes. He fields, throws, and that is the inning. So the Larks get the go-ahead run on scoring position, but they cannot bring him around. We head to the bottom of the 7th. We are still tied at 3. And we're back in Liberal. Here we go, bottom of the 7th. Liberal needs just 1. They score a run, they will walk it off. 7-8-9 due up to face Tyler Starks. Here comes the first pitch of the inning to Kyle Schmidt. Outside, ball number 1. Here comes the 1-0. Popped up in the infield. Who will call it? Weiss is in at third. He will make the call and the catch. And there's one away in the bottom of the 7th. So the defensive switch, Clayton Harp came in to pinch hit for Jacob Boston. Alex Weiss is the new third baseman, as everything else remains the same. So Zach Cook will be the hitter now for Liberal. One away in the 7th. Here comes the first pitch to Cook. And that one hits him in the back. And the winning run for Liberal is aboard with one man away here in the bottom of the 7th. Brennan Rhodes will step to the plate for the BeeJays, the number 9 hitter, playing second base tonight. Again, Liberal has the game-winning run on base. Here comes the first pitch from the lefty Starks. Fastball away, it's 1-0. Rhodes digs back in. Here comes the 1-0 from Starks. Strike number 1 on the lower half of the zone. Zach Cook leads from first base. Starks eyeing him closely over there. Would be tough to steal for Cook against the lefty. Here comes the 1-1. Slide step from Starks. That one is low, ball 2. Comes the 2-1 pitch. Fouled straight back. And the count is even at 2-2. Here comes the 2-2 to Rhodes. High, Rhodes lays off, and the count is full. Zach Cook leads from first base, 1 man away. He represents the winning run. Here comes the payoff pitch from Tyler Starks. Driven deep to center. There goes Givens. He is back under it. He will make the play, and there are 2 away in the bottom of the 7th. That will bring to the plate the top of the BeeJay batting order. Marcus Shoemaker, the center fielder, will step in. Lefty-lefty matchup. Here comes the first pitch from Starks. There goes the runner. The throw from Jones on the wrong side of the bag. He throws it into center field. And there will be no extra advance by Zach Cook. So that's going to be a stolen base for Zach Cook. And now a base hit by Marcus Shoemaker would probably do it, as the winning run is in scoring position. Here comes, and I guess the first pitch was a strike, and there's a pop-up in the infield. Who will make the call? They're going to have to make this play. Who calls it off? Soberanis. He does. He makes the catch, and the Larks escape in the 7th. So for Liberal in the bottom of the 7th, no runs, no hits, no Larks errors, and 1 man left on base. We're heading to extra innings, tied at 3. And welcome back to El Dorado, Brent Gould Field. We are in extras. Top of the 8th inning here in game number 1. Larks will send 4, 5, and 6 to the plate against Derek Kraft. Leading off will be the right fielder, Trevor Boone. Boone got the scoring started back in the 1st with an RBI triple. See if he can make something happen here in the 8th. Here comes the first pitch from Kraft. Boone fouls it straight back. It's a very good piece, but it's 0-1. Trevor came into tonight hitting .308, 9 homers, 32 driven in. 1 for 3 tonight. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Boone swings at a breaking ball in the dirt, and it is 0-2. So for as good of a start as the Larks got off to hitting the ball, they have not gotten a lot going here in the latter innings. Here comes the 0-2 to Boone. Trevor drives it into center field over Robinson, and that is a leadoff single for Trevor Boone and the Larks here in the top of the 8th. So just as I say, the Larks had been stalled a little bit in the hit column. Trevor Boone delivers on the very next pitch. Clayton Raspberry will make his way to the plate now for the Larks. Runner on first, nobody away. Here comes the first pitch to Clayton. He will square to bunt, pull it back, and they will say that will hit Clayton Raspberry, and so Trevor Boone will advance to second base, but the Larks will not have to sacrifice an out as Clayton Raspberry is hit, and he will take his base at first. So now Nick Jones will be the batter. The first two men of the inning for the Larks have reached. Let's see if Jones can be the man that brings in the go-ahead run for the Larks. Nick, just one run driven in so far this summer. A good batting average, just hasn't came to the plate a ton of times with runners in scoring position, and that will be it for Derek Kraft. So the BeeJays will make a call to the bullpen as they get him in and warmed up. We will get some information on him and be right back here at Brent Gould Field in Liberal. And we are back here in Liberal. The new pitcher for the BeeJays is going to be number 11, Tyler Tognerine, a 6'1", 180-pound right-hander out of Lyon. Tognerine is a submarine pitcher. Larks haven't seen a ton. They've seen a couple sidearmers, but Tognerine is below that. He is almost all the way underneath. Nick Jones to the plate. Big spot. Runners on first and second. Nobody out for the Larks here in extras. Here comes the first pitch of the night from Tognerine. Jones squares to bunt, pulls it back, and takes ball one up and away. Looking forward for the Larks, they have Max Remy on deck, and Jace Selzer is in the hole. Here comes the 1-0 from Tognerine. Another square to bunt by Jones, and that one is up and away as well, and there are 2 balls and no strikes. So the Larks are trying to give Liberal an out here to advance the runners, and Tognerine has yet to find the strike zone. Here comes the 2-0 pitch to Nick Jones. Squares to bunt again, gets it down. That is a very good bunt. Picked up by the third baseman. Not in time, he doesn't field it, and the run's going to come home to score. The ball gets past the first baseman, and the Larks take the lead in the top of the 8th inning. The throw from the third baseman, Zach Cook, was low. It hits the glove of Brennan Rhodes covering and trickles into right field. And Trevor Boone comes around to score. Max Remy will be the hitter now for the Larks. Runners are on second and third, still nobody out. Larks on top 4-3. Here comes the first pitch from Tyler Tognerine. 1-0 as that one misses, so a bit of good fortune there for the Larks, but that was a very nice bunt by Nick Jones, and a little confusion between Cook and the pitcher Tognerine on who was going to take charge and field the ball. That pitch from Tognerine is upstairs, and it's 2-0 to Max Remy. Nobody warming in the Larks bullpen. This is going to be Tyler Starks' ball game in the bottom half. Let's see how many the Larks can get him. Here comes the 2-0 to Remy. Down the line and right, but foul and out of play, and it's 2-1. Two more in scoring position for the Larks, looking to add some insurance. That was the second error of the ball game by the BeeJays. Here comes the 2-1 from Tognerine to Max Remy. Still nobody away. Swings at a breaking ball way outside, and the count is even at 2-2. Looking ahead to the bottom half of the inning, Liberal's going to have their 2, 3, and 4 hitters to the plate with Jaron Robinson to bat if anybody gets on. So the Larks would definitely like 1 or 2 more here in the top half. Here comes the 2-2 to Max Remy. Driven into right center field, that's a base hit. To the gap. Here comes Raspberry. Here comes Jones. That's going to be an RBI double, a 2 RBI double for Max Remy. The Larks have scored 3 in the top of the 8th. It's 6-3. Max Remy comes through in a big spot and adds on for the Larks. Jay Selzer will bat now for the Larks. Remy on second base. Still nobody away. Here comes the... And now Tognerine will take time. So 2 of those runs were charged to Derek Kraft. Here comes the first pitch to Selzer. Low and away. And it's 1-0. Tognerine gets his sign from Schmidt. Here comes the 1-0. Outside, and it is 2-0. So Tyler Tognerine falling behind every hitter he has faced. Here 2-0. Clayton Harp on deck. Here comes the 2-0. Driven into left center field. That ball's to the gap. It is going to be scooped up by Scott and will be thrown home. The cutoff won't be made, and that will allow Selzer to take an extra base as Remy advances to third. So a single by Jay Selzer, advancing to second on the throw, and the first 5 men of the inning have reached for the Larks. Clayton Harp will be the hitter now for the Larks. Digs in on the left side, looking to add on. Here comes the pitch. Strike number 1, and they give the left fielder Scott an error. So that is how Selzer will advance to second base. That is the 3rd error of the ballgame by the BeeJays. Here comes the 0-1 to Clayton Harp. Almost hits him up and in, and it's 1-1. One pitch to Clayton Harp. Ground ball. The infield is in. That is scooped nicely by Robinson. Throws across and retires Harp for the first out of the inning. So that will bring Alex Weiss to the plate. They pulled Givens and put Harp in center. So that is why Harp is still in the game. So Weiss now will bat in Givens' spot, which is the top of the batting order. Max Remy leads from third. Jace Selzer on second. Larks have already put up 3, looking for more. Here comes the first pitch to Weiss. Line drive into right field. In comes Remy. Selzer's going to be waved home. Here can the right fielder. Maloney bobbles the ball. There will be no throw, and there are 2 more runs for the Larks. They have blown it open here in the 8th. It is 8-3 on the single by Alex Weiss. So that will be it for Tyler Tognerine. Liberal will make another call to the bullpen as we get him in and warmed up. We will step aside and be right back here in Liberal. And we are back here in Liberal. Thomas Garland, the new pitcher for the BeeJays, as Alex Weiss is on first base. 1 man away. Larks have tallied 5 here in the 8th inning. Lead 8-3. Jonathan Soberanis to the plate. He is the 8th man to bat for the Larks here in the 8th. Another submarine pitcher for Liberal, as that first pitch from Garland misses for ball 1. Here comes the 1-0. Curveball way outside, and it is 2-0. Colin Simpson waits on deck. Here comes the 2-0 upstairs, and it's 3-0 on Soberanis. So the BeeJays have a good bullpen. This was a nice job by the Larks to get to their back end, and as the 3-0 from Garland is in there for strike number 1. Here comes the 3-1 pitch to Jonathan Soberanis. Oh boy. Quite a ways out there, but strike is the call, and the count is full to Sobey here with 1 man away. One on, one out. Here comes the payoff pitch. Soberanis up the middle. Garland is second for 1. Back to first for 2. That is a 1-6-3 double play to retire the Larks in the 8th inning. However, Hayes puts up a crooked number. They blow it open with 5 runs on 4 hits, 1 liberal error, and they leave 1 man on base. We head to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Tyler Starks looks to close out Game 1 as the Larks are on top 8-3. And we are back here in Liberal. Tyler Starks back to the mound, looking to close it out. 2-3-4 due up for the BeeJays. Garrett Scott will lead things off. Here comes the first pitch from Starks. Low and inside for ball number 1. Here comes the 1-0 to Scott. Swing and a miss on a fastball up in the zone, and it is 1-1. Starks is set. Here comes the 1-1 to Scott. Fouls it straight back, and it's 1-2. Starks is set. Here comes the 1-2 to Scott. Popped it up on the infield and now into shallow right center. Soberanis is out. He does not have it. Here comes Boone in from center. He will make the play, and there is 1 away in the 8th inning. So I guess Boone went to center, and trying to figure out all the changes on defense. It looks like Clayton Raspberry shifted to right, and Harp entered in left. So there's 1 away now here in the 8th. Cale O'Donnell will be the hitter. Here comes the first pitch, fouled off, and it's 0-1. Comes the 0-1 from Starks. High for ball number 1. Here comes the 1-1 to Cale O'Donnell. Driven fairly deep out to right field. Back goes Raspberry towards the warning track. He will make the play, and there are 2 away here in the bottom of the 8th. Colton Onstott will be the hitter now for Liberal. Here comes the first pitch. Inside, ball number 1. Strike number 1 on the outside. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Ground ball to Selzer at first. He fields, will take it himself to the bag, and that is the ball game. A huge win for the Larks here in Game 1 as they take it 8-3 from the BeeJays. Larks needing 2 out of 3, taking game 1 is always huge. Larks 8 runs on 13 hits, no errors. Liberal 3 runs on 5 hits, 3 errors. Winning pitcher tonight in game number 1, Tyler Starks. He moves to 4-0 on the season. 3 innings pitched, no hits, no runs, no walks, and he strikes out 1. Losing pitcher in game 1 for the BeeJays is Derek Kraft. He goes 1+ inning, gives up 2 hits, 3 runs, walks 1, and strikes out none. So the Larks will move to 27-11 overall, 27-10 in the Jayhawk League, and they open up a 2-game lead. That is it for game 1. Again, Larks 8-3 winners. We will be back in about half an hour, so plan on about 8:40, 8:45. We will be back with you from Brent Gould Field.